My man, Jared, thank you so much for coming on the Winners Paradigm podcast, brother. It's been a long time coming. So we talked about it a while ago,
Yeah.
but it's also been cool just being around you with your whole transformation, your energy, brother. And then finally, yesterday I was in person with you. So really appreciate you, my man. Before I get ahead of myself, would you mind giving us a brief intro, who you are, what you're passionate about today, brother?
Yeah. So my name is Jerad Starks. I know you, Alundis, through the Unstoppable 365 MFR program with our life coach, Sean Michael Crane. And who I am essentially is I overcame 15 years of alcoholism. I used to be 50 pounds heavier. I used to just be completely miserable in a prison of my own where I hated myself. I hated my life. I had negative thoughts all the time, negative emotional loops, negative subconscious beliefs, just deep rooted psychology. I hadn't overcome my childhood trauma. Like there was a lot, and it just got worse and worse as I got older. And I didn't even start to work on myself till I was 35. And here I am at 39 years old, 3 years sober, 50 pounds lighter, just so empowered. It's like amazing. Like I just completely turned every aspect of my life around. And I just can't imagine living my life any other way.
Boom. You know what's funny is I actually thought about that topic this morning because it was over the weekend we're talking about cheat meals, and that was what me and Matt had a conversation about. And it was funny because it went back to that principle of like you can't have it any other way. And that's the difference between now versus then. It's like even if you do fuck up, it's about getting back on track because you have that proven method that works and you don't deviate from it. So yeah, you can enjoy one thing when you get to the goal, but make sure you're back on program. And that's the difference between, the beginning and now where we're at. So I thought that was funny, because people don't get that. They think they can have it that way and then they go their way. So for you, brother, when you were beginning your transformation, you were stopping the drinking, you were losing the weight. What was the process there? And then that end result when you started to actually realize that for yourself?
All right, well, let's just start with the sobriety. For me, I understood that AA wasn't for me. Now, it's an amazing program and it saved countless of lives. I would recommend anybody go that route if it saved them from their addiction and their drinking. But something just drew me to Sean Michael Crane. And then when I got into his personal development program, my first intention was to get sober. But again, I've been drinking for 15 years. The last 5 years, I was binge drinking vodka. It was bad. And I put the intention to get sober, and it took me 10 months. 10 months of trying and failing. And thank God we had the weekly, at that time, we had 2 weekly Zoom calls, right? And there was times I'd be missing these Zoom calls at noon, right in the afternoon, because I was already drunk off of vodka. And I kept trying to get sober and just stumbling and messing up and still drinking. And Sean has even said this to me recently. He's like, dude, there was times I thought you weren't going to make it. Like he never gave up on me, but you see somebody failing time and time again and just not being human, you're going to be like, I don't know if they're going to make it. And then I just finally reached a snapping point where I was like, I have had enough of this fucking shit. And honestly, seeing that look in Sean's eyes where he looked at me and he's like, I could tell he didn't wasn't sure if I could make it. That was also kind of a snapping point as well. And being in the group, in our men's group, and just hearing all of these ideas, ideology, concepts, theories, whatever you want to call them, about personal development and how we should grow and how we should be as men, just hearing that time and time again also allowed me to get to the point where I just had enough with the drinking and I wanted to be sober. And then honestly, I didn't lose the weight right away. And to go back in time in my life, like I had actually gotten into really pretty darn good shape a few times. But because I had still had those negative subconscious beliefs, I was still fighting myself. And I would get into good shape like for a month, maybe 3 or 4 at the most, and then I would gain all the weight back. So I actually knew how to eat and I knew how to work out, but I didn't have the mindset for it and I didn't have the heart for it either, because those negative subconscious beliefs just kept pulling me back into my old ways. In fact, when I would get into shape and lose the weight, it was just like fighting myself, like you're trying to walk against the current of a stream, And so now I understand why you would gain all the weight back. So Sean and Matt are amazing trainers. They have so much knowledge and they can help a lot of men who don't know how to exercise, who don't know how to eat. But for me, I was a little different where like, yeah, I did know those things, but I just needed to work on my deep rooted inner psychology to be able to keep the weight off. So I got sober after 10 months of working with Sean, and then I didn't lose the weight right away. In my personal development journey, there was times where I was kind of, I don't want to say stagnant, but I plateaued for a bit. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like you can dig deep and push forward and grow quicker, but everybody has their own path. And then I also just got completely sick of being overweight, and I've kept it off for more than a year and a half now. And I've never, at the most, I gained 10 pounds back. And then my standards with myself have been raised so much that I just couldn't take it. And then I did a 6-day fast, lost it all. And I'm never going to gain more than like 3 or 4 pounds. Never, ever.
Boom. Bro, that shit was badass. And I also love the transparency on that. When you talked about the fast, the reason why I loved it so much is like you embraced it fully and then you made the best decision for yourself. And that was something where I was like, fuck, I seen you doing that. And I was like, bro, I haven't even done one fast this year. That 10-day messed me up, man. It was cool, but one, I should have drank fucking water. That's why, like, I said it to you, and you're like, "How are you not drinking water?" And I'm like,
That's
"Yeah,
big.
I didn't drink that much water." So I think water intake would have definitely helped. The walking 10,000 steps was nice because it would take away the cravings of want to eat, especially when it got bad. Because I was fucking smelling all the good Christmas food and all that, but it was yeah, that really took a toll once I started lifting and then looking at the goals, and for me, I was like, I seen what you were doing, and I was like, damn, my ego would have been because I was actually supposed to start 21 day on March 1st. My ego is what was pushing me towards it. And then I
Mhm.
just realized like it didn't align to my goals. And again, I need to focus on what I need to do. Since I got all these injuries, it doesn't make any fucking sense to hurt myself even more when really I need to take care of myself. So I love that, brother, because you taught me something as well, especially when it came down to accepting it and then extracting that information and saying, hey, this is how we can apply it to making us better. That's a testament of its own, of kind of the caliber of individual you are, brother. How important is it for somebody to understand that they have to stick to those core values, have to stick to that bigger game plan, no matter what, on why they do exactly what they do?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. But you know what? I just noticed in you talking about that, it shows a lot of growth that you understood that was your ego wanting you to do that when it wasn't the best thing, right? So that's awesome that you have that self awareness to be like, you know what, my ego is making me want to do something that I really shouldn't do. Because, as men, now that we're empowered men, we're like, oh, I just want to crush everything and just do amazing stuff, which is great. In my recent fast, like less than a month ago, I wanted to go 21 days. And I had done a lot of research on it about, well, first, I prepped my body by eating only fatty meats for 3 days so that my body wasn't craving carbs. For those 3 days, I was eating one meal a day, getting my body used to fasting. And it did ease me into this fast better. But I was also taking fasting salts, electrolytes specifically formulated for extended fasting. So water and electrolytes are very important with extended fasts. And something was off by day 6. I should have had more energy, more clarity. And I was like, man, I just really want to go 21 days, which to anyone out there who's never really looked into extended fasting, it's like 21 days. That's crazy. Well, if it's done properly and your body's responding properly, it's really not. And as much as I wanted to go 21 days, because also like my ego, but also just wanting a sense of accomplishment, like 3 weeks would have been awesome. I broke it on day 6. Something was not right. And I was speaking to a fasting coach in one of the extended fasting groups, and she's like, yeah, I think your blood sugar's bottomed out, and if you're not feeling right, you should break it. And I didn't hesitate, and I'm glad I did. But you know what? In the future, maybe 3 weeks would be possible. We'll see.
No, that shit's still badass, brother. And honestly, I have a fucking I just have that mentality, kind of like yesterday, we're talking in the cigar lounge. I just keep going. Like that's the only thing with me I've realized is like you're better than me at that aspect of saying that. For me, like I felt fucking terrible. And then I was like, I'm gonna drink some more water. And then I was like, worst case, I die. And that was just me trading myself. And it was funny because I said that around Sean. Sean's like, I was like at day 7, and someone's like, you're really gonna get to 10. And then I was like, Yeah, unless I die before I get there. Sean got mad. Sean's like, "You're not gonna die." Well, Sean, I'm just saying, but I could die and then I fail. And I was like, then that's even a bigger fail. And
Right.
he was just like, "Hey man, like you're good, you know." But I think that's powerful, and that's something you do a lot, brothers. You're always challenging yourself, uh, doing more. You're in a sales background. Now you're killing it, brother. Doing well. What is it like now that you've learned on the sales side that you've been able to extract that self development and then apply it to that other area of your life?
Well, the biggest thing about sales is that it's a transfer of energy, right? So when I got into sales 6 months ago, um, my intuition told me to go into sales. It just made sense. And people who've known me for a while are like, yeah, like you're a good fit for sales naturally. Now it does take discipline and practice and developing skills on top of that. But when I understood that sales is the transfer of energy, I saw it as my next evolution of personal development. Because the things that we do, like getting up early and working out and challenging ourselves and journaling and meditating and understanding ourselves and building confidence and doing things that make us proud of ourselves, all of that, including shaping our physiques, that's going to transfer into sales and allow us to make more money, but more importantly, help people, especially when you get to sell something that actually puts people in a better position in their life, right? So I'm doing that
Mm.
with solar, where I'm helping people cut their power bills often in half. Up in the Bay Area, it's just ridiculously expensive. I've been in California for 35 years. The cost of living shouldn't be so high. So, and I helped a single mother of four who's paying $400 a month for her power bill. Now she's paying $200 a month for her solar bill instead. So that's one of the things that keeps me marching through like the rain. Like we knock doors in the rain and the cold. It's blowing sideways. It's turning your umbrella inside out. Your shoes are soaked. Your hands are numb, and you're getting no after no, and it just keeps me going. So that's in one way that personal development has transferred to sales and vice versa, right? And it's helped me to develop a new level of grit and determination and get in touch with my whys about just deeper, more profound, meaningful things in life where money's just going to be a byproduct. And I also liken that to like building our physiques. Like if you're working out for your mindset to be the best version of yourself, to feel good, to be there for your wife and your kids, for me to be there for my future wife and my future kids as the best husband and father possible, where you have infinite patience with them. The physique is just a byproduct of doing it for really deep, meaningful reasons that are the true importance in life. So in sales, like actually helping people and wanting to help people in your personal life by putting yourself in such a high level of financial situation that you can, the money's just going to be a byproduct. Right. So it is 100% like my next evolution of personal development.
Hell yeah, brother. I love that so much. And that hit me the other day. Two of my favorite things right there. Um, because again, I love sales, but it is a transfer of energy. So I was talking to a prospect and this guy was being fucking short with me. So when you were talking about Facebook and how frustrating it is sometimes with certain people, dude, he was like, I was like, "Hey, is there anything you're looking to do?" Or he commented on one of my posts about taking like small, consistent action. So I was like, "Cool. What are you doing in your daily to land clients?" Then he's like, "Instagram stories." Boom. Then I look at his profile. I'm like, "Bro, this shit doesn't add up with what you're saying and what you're doing." So then he one word, and I just straight shot it. I was like, "Hey, bro, this is the program I'm running. I'm helping man recalibrate their mindset. We start building that foundations, get your pillars straight, get you acting in accordance with where you want to be." And then it's just carrying it out, being accountable, having the meal plans, getting the macros, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's set up a call. And then on that call, it was like he was doing the same thing. And he's like, "Well, how do I get this great sales advice?" And I'm like, "Bro, you're not gonna like what I have to say." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Bro, it doesn't matter how you're fucking feeling. Every day you need to be in the gym at least 5 a.m. You need to be prepped before you go. That way, you're in a good headspace, you have good energy, you can kill it. So when the
Yeah.
shit happens, like you were saying, to where you get no's, you're fucking hurting, you're fucking drenched, you keep fucking going." Because when I did home improvement sales, that was one of the things for me where it was like I was sleeping 4, 5, 3 hours if I got fucking lucky, because I was all over Southern California and then staying up late trying to spend like an hour with my wife so I can do homework and shit because I was trying to get my degree then.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking was doing the same shit, wasn't sleeping and then would wake up early because with that job, my schedule would fluctuate so much. So it was like I would either dictate it like at 7 a.m. or built that rule of like, fuck it, 5 a.m. every day, regardless if I'm in Palm Springs and then I'm back in San Diego that night. So it was something funny where it was like I started to see that shift as well. So told this guy the story, and I was just like, "Hey, bro, if you want to make it fucking happen, you need to do the things that are going to require you to make it happen." And it's also funny you said that because that was one of my posts from today where I was talking about that. Is like taking exactly what you need to do and then extracting that and being like, hey, how do I make this, reverse engineered essentially. So pretty fucking awesome, brother. And it just shows like in the work you do, you're the most consistent motherfucker at doing Facebook lives and Instagram lives. And honestly, I failed that multiple times last year until this year I got consistent. And one of the reasons why is just having conversations with you. So when it comes to consistency in the routine, consistency in a large goal like that, that is pretty difficult to do. How do you break that down to the minimalistic level, brother?
Well, how do I break it down to the minimalistic level? It's just, um, what's the term that we use? It's non-negotiable. You know, I made a commitment to do a video every day for a year straight, and there's days that I don't feel like doing a video, even though on one hand it's just a little video, but on the other hand, it's like I'm not feeling like I could really convey my message to the world very well. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. I've got so much going on, but I made that commitment. That's what it really comes down to. But what's really fueling me and helping me to go is the fact that I've had people reach out to me. I've had people tell me, like, dude, I watched your video about living life on a mission and I was reaching for a beer. I'm at home with my wife and kids and I put the beer down and I grabbed a sparkling water. I've had people reach out, tell me they want to stop drinking, they want to lose weight. My sales company is nationwide, and this guy in Texas messaged me and said, dude, you shared about your weight loss journey in your videos, and now I'm starting my first extended fast. I'm like, wow, impact. And we just had that masterminds this Sunday, yesterday, right? And so we were talking about the mastermind a year ago, and I remember that when we were writing out the different areas of our lives and numbering them through 1 through 10 where we're at and how to get higher, we got to impact. I was like, impact, I've never really thought about having impact on anybody. That sounds cool. That's something I would like. And just by thinking that to myself in the universe, now I have impact. And that, like, one of my main missions is to leave this world a better place than I found it. And having impact with the message that we're conveying is exactly how we're going to do that. And so having impact on people and having people tell me that they've gotten so much from my videos is just like, it's amazing. I can't really articulate it. It's just, it fuels the fire in me more. It's great. I love it.
Hell yeah, bro. That's where I'm at as well. Is for so long I got used to not hearing anything from people that now it feels fucking weird because they're like, "Oh, I really liked your video today. Oh, that helped me," or I just speak
Yes.
about whatever's on my mind and it's like relevant, and people will say that. So it's funny now because I catch myself like, "Oh, it's no big deal," but at one point in time it was a big deal because we were just grinding, 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 not looking at that outcome.
You know why it's not a big deal anymore? When it happens at first and it's new, it's a big deal because we're leveling up and we're like, wow, this actually has impact. This is actually helping people and affecting them in a good way. Then you get used to it because that growth is now your new norm, right? And
Yep.
so I've been catching myself on as I continue to level up in life, like, hey, like a little while ago, that was like amazing and just like set my soul on fire. And now I'm like, cool, awesome. Like you still appreciate it and it's still good, but and it doesn't have the same like impact on you when people say it because it's become normal. So catching myself and being self-aware with that, I go back to the way it felt at first because getting in touch with those strong positive emotions will fuel us more. So like I go back, I make myself go back and just get in touch with like, holy cow, this is amazing. Like, cause it is, and you're here for the mastermind. And I told you how I stopped off at a Starbucks to grab a coffee. And this guy just walked in and was like, hey, are you one of Sean Crane's and Matt Fleming's guys? Like, I've seen you in their videos and it's awesome. And I was like, whoa, this is super cool. And then like they called my name for the coffee and he started walking away and I caught up to him at the door and like I made sure that to have a direct conversation with the guy and was like, dude, thank you for saying hi. Like, what's your story? Wow, you're 5 years sober. That's fucking awesome. You're going to the gym, go crush your workout. Like, I made it a point to lift him up, you know? And yeah, it's been super cool, man, you know? And the reason I took on the challenge of posting a video every day for a year straight was because I wanted to get better at speaking on camera. And then I also knew it would help me to grow more in my personal development journey. And then all of these positive benefits from it started unfolding. Like the CEO of my sales company, he watches my videos and he's giving me props. So as I told you, the guy in the Texas sales team is losing weight, things of that nature, right? And it's been really, really cool. And I'm not going to stop after a year.
Boom. Yeah, I'm the same way. Now that it's been consistent, it's like something that I just do. Even last night, I did my live like at 10 p.m. because I was fucking driving all day out there with you guys. And I just said the same thing for me. Like I got to commit to doing more, to just being better because the old me wouldn't do that. And it was pretty fucking funny. I also found myself last night on the video. We're talking about not being the best you can be. I did the live video, bro, and then I watched it after, and I was like, that was not fucking good. So it allows you to just refine that craft, and I think that's another important element
Yeah.
is refining your craft.
There's times where I do a video and I'm like, the way that I can speak about it in my head, I can't quite convey on camera yet. I'm still working on refining that craft, right? I'm like, yeah, but it's still better to put out a video that I view as mediocre compared to not doing a video at all.
Boom.
So I just, again, I try to be self-aware of that and be like, yeah, it's good that you're at least still putting out a video. And I got another sales trip coming up. I don't know if I'm going to have time to edit my videos using CapCut and put the titles in like I have been. And I'm like, there's going to be a noticeable change in their quality, but I'm still going to put out a video every fucking day and get the message out to the world. Like, regardless, it's 10 days, right?
Boom, brother. Well, you've been an amazing guest, brother. I think that summed it up of what this episode's been like when we talk self-development, being the best we can be. So I really appreciate you, bro. Before we go, and I leave you with the last question here. Where can people find you, my man, if they want to keep up with you, if they want to listen more about you, brother?
So on Instagram, my handle is JRAD Ironman, JRAD, then Ironman. Jerad short for Jerad, and my last name is Starks, one letter away from Tony Stark, so I just kind of adopted that. And then on Facebook, you can find me at Jerad Starks. Just spell my first name is a little different than most Jerad. And those are the two platforms I've really been using. You know, I've considered branching out to other platforms, and that's definitely going to happen as this fire gets more fueled with us and what we're doing with this program. I mean, I just have to say it's fucking amazing, and I'm just grateful every day to be sober. I'm grateful every day to be living as the best version of myself with the intention to be the best version of myself. And I just want to help more people and more men experience what you and I have experienced.
Yeah, brother. Honestly, I heard one of the Wes Watson quotes the other day, and he's like, I can't believe people don't understand how good this feels. And again, that Disneyland story, when I seen that girl be like, hey, fool, I want to get a Modelo, I was fucking dying because that's some shit I would say, and I would be drunk off my ass at 10 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
But two, it kind of hurt, you know what I mean? That shit made me want to cry because it was like, I can't believe people don't know how good this feels to just be alert, be done with a workout, be able to have more room to eat what you want, and then just being fully present in the moment where you're not consumed with like, where am I going to get this next beer? How am
Mhm,
I going to keep this fucking going? Uh,
mhm.
yeah, I'd be getting wild all the time. So now looking back at it, I really appreciate not doing those things because I was a fucking asshole back then, just for no reason, just liquor to be talking and I'd be acting.
Right. Yeah, I
Hell
totally
yeah,
get that.
brother.
Totally
Uh,
understand.
So I'll leave you with the last question here then. What would you say the previous version of ourselves? We don't know where to start. We just want to align ourselves with our definition of success.
Ooh, this is giving me goosebumps. It's such a good question. So we don't know where to start. We want to align ourselves with success. In a nutshell, the shortest version would be you can't fail if you don't give up. Right. And the reason that's so important is as I talked about in the beginning of our podcast, it took me 10 months to get sober. Some people might not think that's very long, but to me, it felt like forever. To put the intention in to get sober and taking me 10 months of failing and drinking time and time again and losing the weight and then seeing other men building confidence and a life that they love and cherish and being able to go after whatever they want in life. And that took me time as well. Each person is different, you know, and I was down and out for 35 years of my life, essentially. You can't fail if you don't give up. But also, if I could talk to my previous self, the past version of myself that still had all those negative subconscious beliefs, who was still an overweight alcoholic, I would just say, if you could understand what it's like to live your life with as the best version of yourself, with the intention to be the best version of yourself, and get to the point where you know that every single goal that you have for yourself, you're going to get no matter what, and how empowering it is, whew, like your soul's on fire. Like start running towards your goals. Stop
Yeah.
giving into excuses. Grab your balls and fucking go for it.
Man, you hit it on the money. I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, you know what? It's true because we look at the process and we're like, I should have been here, and it's like, nah, it doesn't work that way because you needed all that shit. You needed to fuck up and be an idiot before you realize that that's really not it, and then you realize there is no other way besides what you've created now. And even if you don't do that, you feel out of alignment because in the back of your mind, you're like, I fucked up on the diet today. I fucked up on my workout. So really love that. Really appreciate you. I know we'll do an in-person soon, brother. So thank you
Yeah,
again, my man. It was an honor.
I'll drive down there. I'll drive down there. We'll do this in person for sure, bro.